and welcome to another jewelry making video brought to you by KeepsakeCrafts.net. Today we'll be finishing up this Ammonite necklace. This is part 2 of a two-part series. In part 1 I showed you how to wire wrap the Ammonite so that it could be a pendant. Today I'm going to show you how to add the dangles and how to add the chain. So to make our dangles, the first thing I did was a little bit of planning. I pulled out some beads that I thought would work, dangling from the Ammonite. And I've got some 4mm Swarovski crystal clear bicones. I have some 3mm brass spacers. And then I have these 7x10mm tourmaline ovals at the bottom. Now when you have a design like this, it's a good idea to do a little bit of pre-planning. If I had wanted these beads to hang from the direct bottom, these wraps would have been in the way. But I actually do want it canted at a bit of an angle, so that works out just right. And what else you'll need is some bead stringing wire, some crimps, and if you want, some crimp covers. For tools, you'll need your favorite crimping method. You can use chain nose pliers to flatten, crimping pliers, or I'm going to use the one-step crimper, which I have reviewed on this channel before. You'll also need wire cutters, and to finish up your necklace you'll need chain nose pliers. So this is really very simple. We're just going to take a piece of bead stringing wire, and I have some gold colored wire that I won't mind seeing as it wraps around the edge of my Ammonite wire. And I'm just going to, there's a little space in here. Now if there is no space, you may need to get your pliers in there and work out just a very small space. You don't need much at all. So you just slide your wire through the wire that's wrapping your Ammonite, and then slide a crimp so both wires are going through it, and slide the crimp up and crimp it using your favorite method. Now because the one-step crimper does such a nice job, it leaves such a neatly flattened crimp, I don't feel like I need to cover it with a crimp cover, but if yours looks like it could use some covering, feel free to use crimp covers. Cut off that excess wire. Oh, always test first. And then I'm just going to string on one of my strands of beads. So you can see I've strung on the beads for one of my dangles as well as another crimp. And all you need to do is crimp that crimp, flatten it. Make sure that you don't pull it too tight. You want your dangle to hang nicely. And then just trim off the excess wire. And repeat for all of your dangles, however many you want. And there it is, all done with all the dangles added. And now it's time to add a beaded chain and turn it into a necklace. And what I have for my beading are some more of those 7x10 tourmaline oval beads and some more of those 3mm brass spacers, about 8 or 9 inches worth. You'll also need 2 8-inch pieces of chain for that's if you want a 24-inch necklace, a clasp, and a jump ring. And then a couple crimps and crimp covers if you need them. These little links are soldered closed, so I'm going to put a crimp on my bead stringing wire, put the wire through the end of one of my pieces of chain, and just crimp it. When you're crimping, always make sure that your wires are flat and parallel to each other inside the crimp. That way you'll get the most secure connection. Always test and then trim the excess wire. One of the things that causes scratches the most I've found is when these wires aren't trimmed real close. If there's like a little tiny bit of wire left, that's what will scratch the skin. Then it's just a matter of stringing on your beads. Don't forget to add your pendant after you've strung on your beads, and then add a crimp and another piece of chain at the other end. So I did decide after all to add crimp covers just to these bottom crimps because I just thought they needed to be covered. So let me show you my favorite way of doing that, and that is actually using crimping pliers because they have these round spaces. They're perfect for picking up a crimp cover. Don't squeeze too hard because you'll close it, and you don't want to close it quite yet. And then just position it over the crimp to be covered, and now it just looks like there's little beads at the ends. So I've strung my beads onto the bead stringing wire, crimped the ends, added chain. I'm going to put my pendant on. Now, depending on the size of the chain and the size of the beads, you may have to add your pendant at some point in the middle of this process, but my bail was big enough I didn't need to worry about it. And then the final step is just to open a jump ring, add it to one end of your chain, to your clasp, close it securely, and you're done. Here's another look at the necklace we made today. I hope that you enjoyed this project and that you'll give it a try. So next time you see some large piece that you think would make a great pendant, but you're not sure just what to do with it, you remember how you can wire wrap it and then add some wonderful beads and dangles to accent it. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll see more like it. And also check out the other 2 videos up on the screen. And check out my blog, keepsakecrafts.net, where I have lots more creative ideas and inspiration. Happy creating. Bye-bye.